Welcome back to the Daily Taoist with Will Nemo. We are talking about the Tao Te Ching and how to get back into alignment with the Tao. Verse 37. The Tao does nothing, but leaves nothing undone. If powerful men could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. When life is simple, pretenses fall away. Our essential natures shine through. By not wanting, there is calm, and the world will straighten itself. When there is silence, one finds the anchor of the universe within oneself. Living in simplicity. I call this the bite your tongue, zip your lips verse of the Tao. The paradox inherent in the two opening lines intrigues me enormously. The Tao does nothing but leaves nothing undone. Just imagine that you're being told to consider that in this verse, do nothing and everything gets done. It obviously contradicts all that you and I have been taught. Doing nothing in our culture suggests a lazy, unsuccessful, and quite possibly a worthless individual. So for a moment, let's modify the way we think about living simply and doing nothing. Of all the troubles that are reported in the media, including wars, terrorism, famine, hatred, crime, and disease, how many are the result of interfering with the natural unfolding of creation? How much of the essential nature of ourselves and our planet is able to shine through? And what would Earth be like if governments did not meddle in everyone's lives? What if no one could be perceived as an enemy? Could there be a world where groups of people never got together to control others or to invade or conquer? How about where oceans, mountains, natural resources, air, plants, and animals were respected and allowed to flourish without any interference? Suppose that such a place of simplicity and a lack of interference existed. It would be acting exactly as the Tao does, doing nothing and yet leaving nothing undone. Now shift out of this highly imaginative scenario and begin to reconsider what is meant in this passage by the concept of powerful individuals transforming the world. When they are interfering with natural rhythms, they ultimately create difficulties that are inconsistent with the Tao. Try to visualize great leaders who are instead centered in the Tao. They bite their tongues and zip their lips rather than act in a hostile way, and they refuse to participate in activities that cause harm to anything on the planet. Yes, this may be a fantasy, but it is not an impossibility when you think like a sage and are centered in the Tao. In the 37th verse of the Tao Te Ching, you can also help change the way you look at yourself. Let's take the way you are accustomed to equating the idea of success with a take charge kind of person. You believe that this individual allocates responsibilities to others because he or she is the leader who is willing and able to tell others what to do and how to do it. Well, this view is completely out of harmony with the Tao, which does nothing and leaves nothing undone. As you alter the way you look at your own power and success, you begin to replace strong desires with calm contentment. When you start to allow your true nature, which is the anchor of the universe, to shine through, you'll recognize that the way you look at things has absolutely changed. I have used this simplicity lesson in dealing with all of the people that I encounter. When I step in and tell them how, I create resistance. But when I bite my tongue, zip my lips, and retreat into silence, they not only figure it out for themselves, but a calm energy replaces their frustrations. I've learned that people know how to be. They too have the anchor of the universe within them. They too are centered in the do nothing, get everything done Tao. They too have an essential nature that they are listening to. As I've gotten more adept in trusting this, not only for other people, for everyone I encounter, I am more peaceful. And guess what? More, not less, seems to get accomplished on time and without problems that used to surface because of my interference. Change the way you think about the entire idea of success and power, for this isn't the result of obsessive accomplishment and continually following directions. Living in a world that you know works far better with less meddling. If you understand that you are not everyone, will stop instructing to others and will allow the Tao to unfold, but you can be an observer watching others tap into the power by centering themselves. Here is what Lao-Tzu suggests for making this verse become your daily reality. Cultivate your unique natural self. Practice allowing your essential nature to shine by not enforcing judgments on yourself that were imposed by others. Remind yourself that you don't have to do anything. You don't have to be better than anyone else. You don't have to win. You don't have to be number 1 or number 27 or any other number. Give yourself permission to just be. Stop interfering with your unique natural being. Lighten the burden you carry and be productive, wealthy, and successful in the eyes of others, and replace it with an inner assertion that allows you to access the Tao. Affirm, I am centered in the Tao. I trust I am able to straighten myself out, and so is the world. I retreat into silence, knowing all is well. I expect to see the essential nature of others by remaining silent. Deliberately bite your tongue and zip your lips at the precise moment you're tempted to get involved in the lives of those around you. Become aware of your inclination to tell others, particularly your family members, how they should be conducting their lives. Even if you hold off for a few moments before you butt into someone else's business, you're on your way to allowing those around you to find their anchor in the universe and within themselves. This new discipline of resisting your habit to get involved by pausing before interfering will enable you to see how capable everyone truly is when they're in the energy field of someone who allows rather than dictates. Do the Tao now. Print or copy the first 2 lines of the 37th verse. The Tao does nothing but leaves nothing undone. Read the words repeatedly until you've committed to them to memory. Then go on a 30-minute walk and take note of their truth. The air, the sky, the clouds, the grass, the wind, and flowers. Nothing natural that you see is undone, but nothing is taking place to work at all. It is all accomplished by the truth of these words. I am reminded of a 13th century poem by Rumi called Nibble at Me, which applies perfectly to this section of the Tao Te Ching. Nibble at me. Don't gulp me down. How often is it that you have a guest in your house who can fix everything? Let your all-knowing guest fix while you live naturally. Thanks for listening, guys. Depending on where you are and where you grew up, you may have had a very demanding or overbearing parent, teacher, friend, and maybe due to that upbringing, due to those experiences, you're not living in alignment with your essential nature. Something I've learned, especially in the last 5 years, is you cannot tell other people what to do or control what they're going to do or say or how they act, right? And that's just the way things are. You can find common ground, but you ultimately need to sometimes learn to just let it go and not interfere, not speak unnecessarily, because you're just going to cause unnecessary conflict. For what? For nothing. For ego, right? When you start just living from your own essential nature and you start recognizing it in others, right, and you actually embody the principles of these 81 verses, life does not have to be a struggle. Life is not a struggle. Life is fun. Life is enjoyable. Go with the flow. Live simply. Namaste. Furthermore, if you'd like to follow, subscribe on your favorite channel, Spotify, YouTube, you can follow me at The Daily Taoist on all platforms, including TikTok. Have yourself a great and prosperous day in the Mandelbrot universe. Peace.